Hey guys, so what's going on? Got a little inspired today, and I'm headed down to the shore with my family to take a little trip for a couple days, and I can't wait. And I'm actually gonna probably try to unplug from YouTube, Instagram, social media for a couple days, as much as I can, because I can't totally go off of it. But yeah, so I wanted to make this video because I got a little inspired. I'm heading down separately today because I had a couple things to take care of, and also my wife's staying down there for a couple days extra for a friend that's having a birthday. So anyway, I'm in the car by myself. Figured I'd make it, kill two birds with one stone, so I hope you don't mind. And I wanted to make this video because I got a little inspired recently, and you know, I guess it's a culmination of a couple things that have happened. But I was introduced maybe a year or so ago to this growth mindset book, and Carol Dweck, I want to say the name is. So I read it, and you know, it had to deal with 2 miles I gotta turn. So it had to deal with the growth mindset. And what was very interesting about this growth mindset was that, you know, it kind of gave you this opportunity to, it's a high level mindset, high level thinking, where, you know, you start applying it to different aspects of your life. And really what it entails is just like the fact that you can do anything, you can grow in any area of your life. It's not really talent that gets you there. Talent will get you to a certain, some people will be innately more talented than others, or innately more gifted than others. But the growth mindset really deals with focusing all your energies on improving in any areas of your life that you're looking to improve. And what actually happens in your brain is that you can create different pathways. It's scientifically proven to create different pathways by changing up certain behaviors and doing them repeatedly, improving on what you're trying to focus on, and create a really, like, almost where it becomes habit to some of the things you're looking at doing. So kind of what I mean by this a little bit is, like, say you're, you know, you're a pretty healthy person. Okay, I'll just use an example of my own example, right? So I'm a pretty healthy person, always have been in sports growing up. You know, maybe I was a little bit, I'm just keeping this directional on. I know where I'm going, but I just, so I don't get distracted and miss where I'm going, you know, miss it. So, but I guess, so let's take for instance the, like, exercise or whatever, or health or dieting or something like that. So, you know, pushing it and keeping pushing it. So this is an example I've used. So always been pretty healthy, yes, like going to the gym and all that, and then eating fairly healthy and whatnot. But then, you know, maybe you go on a 2-month cleanse where you're not drinking, and then all of a sudden, you know, or maybe like a month where you're not drinking and eating better, and, you know, then you start becoming, you start adopting things where they become, you know, it's tough at first because you're giving up your vices that are vices. They're comfort for you. And what ends up happening is, after a certain period of time, I think I've heard like 21 days, but, you know, I don't know what it is, but say you just, you know, you tried something for a month, and it's a little uncomfortable at the time because you have a vice that, you know, maybe say it's like you drink a glass of scotch a night, or something like, you know, something seeming like unhealthy, but it's kind of your vice. And then you stop doing that. It's a little it's a little uncomfortable. But the thing is that on the other side of that, what you should be doing. You should not be doing that every night, right? Maybe save it for like, it's a reward on Friday or something, or Saturday. So, or like on vacation where I'm going right now. Hopefully I get to do that. But what happens is like, you start doing this, and then after a certain period of time, it becomes more of a routine. It becomes more of a routine that if you go back the other way, you actually feel worse. Does that make sense? So I started on this intermittent fasting, right? And this was just very recently. Now, I knew about intermittent fasting. I wasn't ready for it, right? And I'm not pushing anything on anybody, but I started this, right? So, but now I'm like, man, I don't, at first I was like, oof, eating from like 11 to 7 or 12 to 8, in like little 8-hour windows. Well, I was like, well, one of my biggest, and it's not a crutch because it was actually healthy, but one of my biggest, comforts or vices was eating breakfast. It was eating eggs and avocado, super healthy, drinking orange juice, and just like eating that for breakfast at 7-8 o'clock when I got home from the gym. Now, goals was to look, to get more cut at the time, lose more body fat, just like to really lean out. And it's not like I was at all overweight. I was actually like super top healthy, but like I was eating good and not drinking so much and working out every day. But then I started this, and it was tough for the first couple days, and then it got into a routine, and now it's to the point where it's been about 3 weeks, and I almost can't even imagine going the other way. Like, maybe there will be a time I, have breakfast or eat something before 12 o'clock, but I don't know, maybe I'll try to have an early dinner that night or something like that. It just because it makes you feel better once you start doing it, that you can't imagine going back before it. Now, if I would have done it and been like, the same for me, I don't really feel better. Something has not improved, whether it's like leaning out, which I did very much, but I actually feel more mentally clear. And if neither of those two things happened for me, I would have just went back to eating breakfast probably, because it was like, maybe easier. And what I'm trying to say is like, it's like, I would have still gotten my joy out of that. And I don't think that it was an improvement doing it the other way, but now it is. So now I can't imagine going back, and now it's become a habit. Now I think I'd feel worse going back. So the growth mindset really entails, like, I'm kind of intertwining that with this, but like the growth mindset really entails that, along with it, to apply it in any area of your life where there may be a discomfort at first, but the end goal is going to make you feel better. And if you can do it long enough, the consistency of doing it will make it a habit and create these different pathways in your brain to just make it what it is. And it'll not be, you won't think of it as easier or harder. It'll just be, in order for you to get your goal. And in a lot of cases, you will attach that goal of what the result is that you want to it, so it'll make you feel better by doing it, if that makes sense. So I hope it does. But yeah, I was a little inspired about that. And it's kind of one of those things where if you along with the growth mindset is something that they did case studies on kids that were told, like, look, I tell my daughter she's beautiful all the time, but like, you tell there's some things that you just tell them, but if you were to tell someone, my God, you're so smart, you're so smart, you're so smart, and they get in their head that they're so smart, and the ego builds up so that they think, and they grow up, I'm so smart. And when the first inkling of conflict or of what do you want to say? What am I trying to say? The first inkling of an obstacle that they need to overcome, a challenge, their ego sits in and goes, if they're not the right person, it's not one size fits all, but it's more easily understood that would make someone go, well, you know what? Fuck this. I'm too smart. I don't need this. And go the other way. Instead of dropping their ego and knowing that they are smart, but it's because they tried hard and they're growing, and their growth, maybe they don't get it right now, but it's a challenge. And to have that challenge and to work towards that and overcome that and to get through it and solve it, that makes their smartness was harnessed to get that problem done and to get through that. So these are my little, it's kind of crazy. It's, I've been thinking about things lately, and I'm like, wow, how far, and it might be because maybe I'm, turning 40, maybe it's a midlife crisis, who knows? But I don't think it is. I just think it's that, there comes to a point where a lot of people think like, oh, especially if you're, say, like a high school sports star, that's the worst case, is that, like, and then they stay in town and then they relive this high school sports stars because they think that's the end, or they go to college and it's like, they're not as good as they were in high school, and a standout, and it's not as easy as it was for them. And if they don't have that growth mindset adopted, they just go back, work at the local, whatever place in their hometown, and relive high school sports for the rest of their lives, and talk about it and hang out with their buddies and drink beer and all that stuff. So, you can see how it goes on the other aspect of like, wow, you were a standout here, let's go here and challenge yourself. And then to keep pushing yourself and see how far you can take it, see how far you can take anything in every aspect of your life, everything that you touch. And by removing vices and adopting this growth mindset to always be improving on everything that you're going after, you can really apply it to everywhere. You can apply it to making money, to business, to your family, to, always improving 1% better and growing, because nothing's final, until it is. And there's no age that stops it. You don't say like, oh, once I have a kid, maybe it becomes harder to do something because there's more of a challenge. And it wasn't as easy to just roll up and go to the gym anytime because now you have a kid. Well, maybe you need to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym before your kid wakes up and before your wife wakes up. It's not impossible. You can do it, So, that's my little riff on everything. It almost makes you feel like Neo in the Matrix, where you want to see how far you can take things, and you want to see you can just keep evolving, keep growing, keep pushing, and it actually changes your neurons and your pathways in your brain, and that's how you just, the funny thing is that's just how you start being. Now you're just being, and you're just living what's natural to you. And what's natural to you is the growth, and to always be growing. Because look, if you're not growing, you're dying basically, and you're never staying at one point. You're either getting better or you're getting worse, basically. So, I don't know. Just some thoughts I had today. Hope you find some value out of this. Please, look, I can say it from firsthand experience. I'm living it right now. I'm about to turn 40. I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not saying this to brag. I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. I feel like I look better than I've ever felt or looked. You can apply that towards your looks towards things you want to change of yourself. It's not about what you have. You know, you can, I mean, you know, short of like getting plastic surgery, like you can improve a lot, you know, but like Kim Kardashian does, you know, of course she can get whatever. That's a whole nother subject. But my point being is that, you know, whatever area of your life it is, and it doesn't need to be, you know, it can be anything. You can make, you're the author. You're the, you know, when you get, you know, when you pass away, like, what are people gonna say? You're writing your own book. So it's like, can you break boundaries? Can you break stereotypes? Could you be the best, could I be the best actor that, and be an, you know, some kind of amazing professional actor working, you know, in tons of top level TV and film stuff, and then also be running a multi-million-dollar, you know, real estate company and growing there, and you know, having agents that are doing fantastic, and owning other multiple businesses, and real estate, and being the best dad I can be to my, you know, child, and the best husband I can be, and the best, you know, that's what my focus is now. But it's just like, there's so much potential in all of us, and if you adopt the growth mindset, you really can push and surprise yourself in a lot of ways. So just keep on keeping on, friends. Hope you got some value out of this YouTube video. Drop me a comment below. Don't forget to smash the like button, and to help with the YouTube algorithm, so please do that. And yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think I'm a weirdo and don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll probably just say thanks and get out of here. But anyway, hope that you found some, you know, it's never too late to start. That's another thing I want to say. There's nothing different. There was nothing different born between me and you. There's nothing different. You can't look at me and say, hey, that's you, that's not me. You can't say you're younger, I'm older, this, that, the other thing. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Anyone can do this. Anyone can adopt this mentality at any age. You can be 90 years old and start doing this. So that's that. You don't get into comparison. It's you versus you, and that's it. So hope you found some value out of this. Thank you. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Check out below for some free stuff. Follow me on IG and Twitter. I'm on there pretty much daily. Going to check out for a little bit. Thanks so much, and talk to you soon. Peace.